Good morning 10th class. Welcome to the economics lesson, the sectors of Indian economy. In the last video, you have seen how the transformation has taken place with respect to the importance given to the sectors. Earlier we have seen that the primary sector was important. Later on, after a few years, there was a shift to the secondary sector, and from there the importance has shifted to the tertiary sector. And we have even talked about or discussed what are the reasons behind the rising importance to the tertiary sector. Students, if you remember, I have told you that that is a 5 marks question. 4 reasons were given to you. If you write the 4 reasons and you give a small introduction and a conclusion, you are sure to get 5 marks. So please remember it. Now today, let us see. We have seen that the primary sector is providing most of the employment. Now let us see why only the primary sector is providing employment. Why not the other sectors? Okay, ma? With respect to the GDP also. GDP means the gross domestic product. So with respect to the contribution of GDP also, in the 40 years that we are, between the 40 years that we are discussing from 1973-74 to 2013-14. So a span of 40 years, we have seen that the contribution of each sector with respect to GDP is being given in page number 25 of your textbook in the form of a graph. See, graph 2. Ma, in graph 2, see, I think you can clearly see that this blue color is the primary sector, and the contribution of primary sector in GDP in 73-74 was very much high, and the red color the secondary sector and the green was the tertiary sector. So here the contribution of GDP of the primary sector was more. Both the primary sector and the tertiary sector were equal at that time. But see the shift of the importance. So here when it came to 2013-14, when we came to 2013-14, the contribution of the primary sector with respect to GDP became very less. And the next place was occupied by the secondary sector, and the larger place is occupied by the tertiary sector. Means tertiary sector contributed more towards the GDP in 2013-14. So there is a drastic change. Yes, that change can be easily observed in this graph. But though there is a change with respect to the contribution of GDP, even today, when we speak about the employment, primary sector is only employing maximum number of people. Did you understand? Now see here, primary sector continues to be the largest employer till date. So even today, more number of people are employed in the primary sector only, and the contribution of the secondary sector and the tertiary sector with respect to employment is less. Ma, in 2019, the contribution of the primary sector with respect to employment was 42.39%. So nearly to 50%, 42.39% was the contribution of the primary sector with respect to employment, providing of employment, and the rest of the percentage is shared by the secondary sector and the tertiary sector. That also you can see from this graph. So here see, in 1970 to 73, this is the primary sector which has provided more of employment. Okay, maximum employment was provided by the primary sector, a little by the secondary sector and the tertiary sectors. But here also there is a, see here, there is a slump, there is a downfall with respect to the percentage of contribution by the primary sector. But still, even though there is a downfall, still the primary sector is only providing more employment. Did you understand this graph? This is given in page number 25, graph number 3. See here, ma? Graph 3 of your textbook. Here also, here see, 74% of 74 percentage of share was of the primary sector with respect to providing of employment. 11% and 15% by the other two sectors. Now here from 74 in 2011-12 it came down to 49, but though it came down to 49, still it is only having the largest contribution with respect to employment. Understood this graph? So here though there is a downfall with respect to the percentage, still primary sector only is employing more number of people in the country. Now, why is this happening? So here we have a question again. Why? Why only primary sector is employing more? Because enough jobs were not created in the secondary and the tertiary sectors. So the creation of jobs in the secondary and the tertiary sectors was not present. So primary sector is been providing more of employment. The details of why, the details of this we'll be seeing in this lesson only in the further classes. As of now, you understand that enough jobs are not created in the secondary and the tertiary sectors. In the secondary sector, the production of goods increased 9 times. 9 times. So, from here to here, from 72-73 to 2011-12, in the span of 40 years, the production in the secondary sector increased by 9 times. But the employment increased only by 3 times. Okay? And in the same way, in the tertiary sector also, the production of services increased by 14 times. So, in a span of 40 years, the production of services in the tertiary sector increased by 14 times. But the employment increased only by 5 times. Did you understand till here? Well, see here, ma. The employment in the primary sector increased, but contribution to the GDP decreased. Means the production did not grow. The production did not increase. Though the employment increased, the production did not increase, but in fact it has come down. Okay? And the employment in the secondary and the tertiary sectors, it decreased. Means it did not, the secondary and the tertiary sectors, they did not contribute much to the employment, but they contributed to the GDP. They contributed to the GDP. Now, so by this what should we say? Are the workers, now we have a question here, okay? Are the workers in the primary sector not producing as much as they could? Did you understand this? Here, primary sector is providing more employment than other two sectors, even today, okay? Now, when employment is more, then certainly the production also should increase, na? And its contribution to the GDP should also increase when compared to the other two sectors. But it is not happening in that way. It is here vice versa. Here, though the employment is more, but the contribution and the production is less. Why is it happening? What is the reason? Are the workers not working properly? Are they not producing completely with the full capacity? Are they not are the work done by the workers in the primary sector not up to mark? Let us see the answer. Now, if this question comes up, then the answer is yes. The workers in this sector are underemployed. We say the workers in this sector are underemployed. Now, what is this word underemployment? First, we'll try to understand this underemployment. Okay, ma? Now, listen. Underemployment is a situation where people are working apparently. So, people seem to work. If we see that, we feel that yes, the people are working. Okay, but all of them are made to work less than their potential. They are working here, but they are not working up to their potential. Did you understand? Simple example, ma. I have corrected many books. I have corrected your test notes and they are in the staff room. Some maybe some 10 to 15 test notes are there in my staff room. I have told some boy of your class to go get those notes. Actually, 15 notes can be bought by one boy. Yes or no? Can be bought from the staff room to the class by one boy. But for this work, two people are going. Two people, they run to the staff room to carry 15 books. Is there any necessary for two people to go to carry 15 books? There is no necessary. This work can be done by one person. But when the second person is also going, then what is happening? The first person is not doing his work up to the potential, up to his capacity. So he has taken the help of the second person. Okay. So here this is underemployment. In the that is only an example. It is not about employment. I just told you that example to let you understand how people use their complete potentials to do a particular work. Okay. Now come here. So this is a situation where people are working apparently, but all of them are made to work less than their potential. You have an example in your textbook about one Lalita, na? What a Kamala, I think the case. Wait, let me see. You have an example about Kamala, Lakshmi. Yeah, Lakshmi is a small farmer. Okay, let us generalize it over here. So here there is a farm. Okay, there is a farm and a family of 5 members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Father, mother, maybe 3 sons. All of them are working, and let us assume that this farm is half-acre farm. Okay, so all of them are working in this farm only. So in this half-acre, they are able to produce some 100 bags of rice. 100 bags of rice in a year. Okay, ma? All the 5 members are working in the half-acre of farm. They are able to produce 100 bags of rice over here. So here what you will feel, when you see, you'll feel that all the 5 members are working. All the 5 members are getting 100 bags of rice, and they are able to fill their stomachs with that 100 bags of rice. That's all. So here what is happening? They are able to produce, but they are able to do nothing extra than that. They are unable to increase their production, and they can't even increase their production because here the land is limited. So instead, if this father of this, the father is there, number 1, if he has to take a wise decision now. If he sends this son 3, 4, 5 to some city and tells them to earn their own living. Okay, so they go to some city, they start to earn their own living. Here they are left with only again 1 and 2. Father, the husband and wife are there. They do the work in this same farm, and they also get 100 bags of rice. They also produce 100 bags of rice. So what do you understand? This 3, 4, 5, they used to work here, but of no use. Okay, so these fellows are extra fellows to this half-acre of land. Actually, there is no necessity for that many people to work in this half-acre of land. The work could be done by 2 people, but in that place 5 people were engaged in that farm. Okay, so this is underemployment. Okay, now see here, this kind of underemployment is hidden in contrast to someone who does not have a job and is clearly visible as unemployed. Hence, it is also called as disguised unemployment. So this underemployment is called disguised unemployment also.